Alright, this is part 3. You can go back and see the other parts if you would like, or you can continue from here or just hear this one. So, the 4 quadrants, the cross. We are talking about exorcism, possession, demons, all sorts of things. What it really is, in essence. But if you think of the 4 quadrants of the cross, there are 4 components. You have a higher, you have a lower, and then you have, this away, these directions. When you think of, Jesus and other sinners, those who were convicted are hung on a cross, and the hands and the feet are nailed to the cross. When you think of that symbolically, it is, in essence, like what the church is doing, what the society would be doing, what we are doing to ourselves, and that is putting the nail into our hands, into our feet, into the energy points. They're illustrated on the energy points, and what that is, you could look at as a metaphorical and figuratively, cutting yourself off from the senses. Like, they have deemed you not worthy of use of these, okay? And once you're down from the cross, you're good. but I just wanted to add that in there. But the possession happens by an emotional contract, bonding. It is allowed in great times of sadness and grief, especially when torn between heart and mind. So this can happen consciously and unconsciously. That's why it's important to be in a state of awareness, but not too hyper vigilant and not too under vigilant. You need, like a little balance in there. You consent when you give into thought, and if not redirected, it can go unnoticed until it's much too late. In not essence too late, but it can spread more rapidly. And if you initiate the sin or movement, which is defined as the demon, not the daemon, which would be just the emotion, and we'll talk about the different types of emotions as well. But in these times of chaos, it's easier for them to latch on by amplifying the negative emotions you are already having and or feeling in your body, especially if it's not in alignment, especially energetically, because you become a sponge. And it's just like things come in, but you don't have an energy system that is working properly. It's like it needs maintenance to, get those out of there. But also, depending on the emotion, you're going to feel helpless in so many ways. And sometimes you may not get just one emotion. You're going to get multiple, at once. When they latch to the solar plexus center, they are able to energetically tune in to the subconscious, which is back here. That's where they're tuning in into, I call it the Merkaba. I'm drawing a blank on what the actual name is, but that's like your storehouse center, okay? And that's not a bad spot, but it can be used in a negative way, but it can also be used in a very beneficial way. Just most are not able to navigate those waters or to know, what exactly is going on. You sort of have to get past some illusions to get there. So they affect the mind by this. So they're down here energetically sitting, and then they will eventually spread up through the signals, and they will send mixed signals coming from this area to wherever. It's usually in this area. And sometimes this is permanent, sometimes this is not. They come and go. And then some will just sit there, just, like in hibernation until, they want to pick up. And for some, when left unchecked, they can and will grow very out of hand. And this goes into big personality changes in negative ways. Because you can be influenced by spirit and be in a positive state, but when you're affected by the negative, you're going to continue to slowly decline, especially in the mental sense, or this, like, if you're allowing this to happen. But when you're in control of the mind in a healthy state, your body is not physically giving up on itself, okay? You're actually, have a spirit, have a fire, have an essence. And what happens, when that dwindles, when that tank dwindles, you start feeling more of the things of the past. But again, it's a natural process. We all go through these feelings, and we have been taught to oppress them or not talk about them. We all have emotions, and they are there for a reason. It is also very important to note in exorcism, it may not be in the person or just in the person, but their environments. Also, you have some that are jumpers as well. So, there's certain rules and techniques, but they can jump from person to person. So you're, in essence, you're not really dealing directly with it. Unless you know the things to do. So it's important to clear all homes as well. People, homes, cars, whatever. Certain towns as well. Sometimes it's a whole big area or location, or, natural, like stone, like things like that. Materials, natural materials. May be sources of multiple entities or different things working together, energies. So you can clear the person, but if you do not clear the area in which it inhabits, which can be in a large area, so that entity itself is still in the land, it still allows people to suffer, to get preyed upon, and sometimes there's not much we can do with that because of how land and ownership is brought about and people's wishes. But there's a way to deal with the energy itself without, physically touching the land. Hold on. Okay, in exorcism, each case should be looked at individually and with an open mind and understanding. We should be taught how our bodies really work. Stored emotions or pockets can trigger at any moment. It is how you react, what you do in the moment, and in the intention behind the moment. There's an internal battle with the heart and mind, back and forth feelings or thoughts. It's the pin that you're ready to pull, like as a grenade. In non-judgment movement, you stand in conviction and truth. You move in alignment. This may be uncomfortable, but you transform that emotion. It subsides or leaves. It's like waves or a punch and then a wave. It depends on the degree. If you are aware, you are able to navigate through it. If you are not aware or asleep, you fall victim to self and mind. You disconnect at the heart and you lose senses over time. You lose yourself. It's never lost. It only has to be found. All right, so psychic gifts and or channeling abilities can be taken in the wrong context and looked at as evil because people don't understand the essence of it. Next